Hi everyone, I am here to present the project part 4 high fidelity mock-up from the lesson FECD 2613 system analysis and designs for section 8. And then our group name is Cherubin and our system name is Enhanced Sustainability Management System. There are 4 members here. The Tan Xiaojun is me, Fichi Abdullah Muman, Abdullah Amil Dani, and Muhammad Muzamil bin Muhammad. In this project, the MPIB Majlis Bandar Raya Iskandar Putri is our stakeholder. It's known that MPIB has done many activities that aim to lower the carbon emission. However, they often face challenges that prevent their progress. We are bad project system monitoring by using online Google Forms to collect carbon consumption data from the user. Next, the problem is complex data entry because the information of carbon consumption data did not categorize. Lastly, the problem is inaccurate project progress analysis and calculation because the data is manipulated by human. Hence, our group has created a system called Enhanced Sustainability Management System to help MPIP solve the problem by creating a user-friendly interface to improve MPIP carbon reduction monitoring and simplify data collection process. Besides, our system is implementing automatic data analysis and calculating technique to improve accuracy of project progress indicator. These solutions are to make sure the correctness of data entry and enhance accuracy of data analysis and calculations. So the overall physical DFT to be level 0 is like this. So there are 2 entities in our project, the user and MPIP consultant. And then there are 8 processes in this project. So the first one is login and register account. The user can choose login and register, and then the system will send to the system login successfully also, and then the login and the register will store in the user information data store. And then next, the process 2 is correct user information detail. So in this project, the user can update the new information detail, and then this user information detail will also store in the user information data store. Next, the process 3 is collect carbon consumption data type. So there are 4 carbon consumption data type in this project. There is water, electricity, waste, and recycled cooking oil. So the user have to fill all the information here, and then the carbon consumption data information will store in the data store for further calculate carbon emission data in the process 5. So in the process 4, the validate carbon consumption data collected is to validate the carbon consumption data is correct or not. So the validated report will send to the user. And then for the process 5, so the carbon usage that filled by the user needs to be calculated, and then the result will store in the carbon calculation result. And then the process 6 is analysis of carbon reductions. So this process is to take the carbon calculation data and then retrieve and analyze. So the analyzed result also will store in the carbon reductions analysis data store. So in the process 3, a carbon emission report will be generated, and then it's published to show the steadity of carbon emission, and lastly, the notification will be updated to the user. And then in the process 6, the carbon reduction analysis the information will send to MPIP consultant. So this table is the team member and specific module. So Tan Xiaojun, my name is collect user information detail and collect carbon consumption data type. Abdullah Amil Dani will do the analysis of carbon reduction and generate carbon emission report. Chen will do the calculate carbon emission data, And then the last person is Muhammad Mudamil K. Muhammad will do the validated carbon consumption data collected. So this is the first child diagram. There is correct user information detail. So as I said, the user can edit and update new user detail or delete the unuseful user detail. All the changes will be stored in the user information detail. Next, correct carbon consumption data. So there are 4 carbon consumption data. There is water, electricity, waste, and cooking oil. So the user have to fill all the information that given, and then the carbon consumption data will be stored in the data store. So the next one is validated carbon consumption data collected. So when the user is fill all the carbon consumption data, so the system will verify whether the data is valid or invalid. If the data is invalid, so the error message will send to the user, and then the user need to fill back again the carbon consumption data. So the next one is calculate carbon emission data. So this process is the data will be checked and then to multiply the data with the Pareto factor and then convert the energy unit to standard unit, and then the result will also store in the carbon calculation result. The analysis of carbon reduction is when the result is come up, so the process here will show the low level carbon emission or high level carbon emission, and then to evaluate and then to store in the carbon reduction analysis. But when the high level of carbon emission is identified, so it have to provide insight for improvement, and then the feedback also will be stored in the carbon reduction analysis. And then the last one is generate carbon emission report. So the analysis data stored here will be interpretation by separate each type of carbon emission data in each category, and then the report will be generated based on user choice, like to choose the diagram, ordinary report, region report, and then after that the report will be generated. So here I am going to show our prototype demo.